It's the final day before a potential work stoppage could ground all Air Canada and Air Canada Rouge flights. More than 10,000 flight attendants are poised to walk off the job around 1 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, followed by a company-imposed lockout if the two sides can't reach an 11th hour deal. Air Canada said it was expecting to cancel around 500 flights previously scheduled to take off today in anticipation of the work stoppage, with a full stoppage looming Saturday. Joining us now is the president and CEO of Air Passenger Rights, Gábor Lukács. Good morning, Gábor.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. Now, Air Canada started canceling flights yesterday as the airline and the union representing its flight attendants contract dispute continues. So far, it looks like customers whose flights are canceled will be eligible for a full refund. Tell us about that.
Passengers should not fall for the trap of taking a refund. Air Canada is attempting to defraud passengers about their rights. Passengers are being told falsely that there are no other flights available, while in fact there are many other flights that could be booked, and passengers are finding those flights if they know what to do. From Air Canada's perspective, it's way cheaper to just try to push a refund on you as a passenger than to actually pay for alternate transportation, even though the law requires them to do so. The law is clear. If they cancel your flight, they either have to rebook you on a flight that departs within 9 hours of the original departure time on their own or partner airlines, or they have to buy you a ticket on a competitor airline. That's for preemptive cancellations. When a cancellation takes place before the strike, they also owe you meals, accommodation, and lump sum compensation up to $1,000. This email is trying to convince you to take a refund, let me repeat, is a fraud. It's a scam. Don't fall for it. You do have the right as a passenger to alternate transportation on any carrier if Air Canada cannot find you a flight on their own network.
But if a strike does happen tomorrow, it's uncertain what kind of protections passengers will have after that, because the airline is saying that they can only protect you if they have control, but they say this is completely out of their control.
No, that's not what the law says. That's actually incorrect. Even if there is a strike, which paradoxically in Canada deemed to be outside a carrier's control, in Europe it is not so, but even if it is, say, weather, the airline still has an obligation to rebook passengers on competitors' airlines flights if they cannot rebook you on their own network. And I've just seen this type of scenarios where Air Canada is sending a passenger an email saying, sorry, we have no flights for 3 days before or after your flight date at all among all our 120 airlines we scanned. And then I go to Google Flights and just find more than a dozen different options for the passenger. The other passenger who just posted in our Facebook group is telling me that Air Canada told them they had no other flights for them coming back from the UK to Canada, and they were able to find more expensive flights, but they were able to find those. So beware, Air Canada is trying to scam you. They're not acting in good faith. They're acting fraudulently with the intent to deceive you of your right to get back to Canada, and with the intent to save substantial amount of money by not paying for your alternate transportation back to Canada, but forcing you or making you believe that you have to take a refund. You don't have to take a refund. Don't take a refund. If they refuse to rebook you as required by the law, just buy yourself a ticket after you receive such an email. And the fact that you're able to buy a different airline's ticket, you get home, proves that Air Canada acted improperly, and they will have to pay for your alternate transportation if they fail to rebook you. If necessary, take them to small claims court. This may well end up being a bunch of class actions, because it seems that Air Canada, although they are paying lip service to the obligation to rebook passengers on competitor airlines, they are not doing it in practice. Again, this type of messages, in many cases, I believe, are disingenuous. There are flights of other airlines, just Air Canada doesn't want to pay for them, even though the law says they have to.
What other messages do you have for passengers, either here at home who had plans to leave, or those who are already at their destination but now aren't sure about when and how they'll get back home?
Don't be a pushover. Don't believe what Air Canada is telling you. Make sure that if they tell you there are no other flights, you don't take a refund. Buy yourself a ticket for whatever destination you need. Keep your receipts, keep your expenses, and once you're done traveling, make Air Canada pay for it. This situation is not going to change unless we collectively as passengers are willing to hold Air Canada accountable for this type of fraudulent conduct.
Gábor, thanks for your time today.
Thank you very much for having me.